Thanks so much for tuning in to this First Alert Weather Plus forecast, your extended forecast. Let's talk about the last few days of October. We're looking at light winds, dry conditions, a good amount of sunshine for the next several days to end this work week and to end the month of October. So Halloween looks great. It looks like great weather for those trick-or-treaters. And then this weekend, we're also going to have a warmer than average weekend for the valleys, that is. We'll be about 10 degrees above average by Saturday. However, the mountains could be seeing some changes as we may see rain on the way. But looking at our rainfall for Boise this month, we've seen about 1 3/4 of an inch for the entire month of October in Boise. And while that's not record breaking, it is far surpassing our monthly average of about 8/10 of an inch. So we more than doubled that when we passed that average in the first 3 days of the month. We're not expecting to get more rain this month, but still a significant amount we've seen so far. This was our setup as of Wednesday afternoon. We had a ridge of high pressure dominating the west. However, there was a little bit of a disturbance, not an entire low pressure system, but more an area of low pressure and a cold front that kind of broke down that ridge that was dominating this entire week. However, that little disturbance will quickly shift to the east by Thursday. Then Thursday through Saturday, this ridge will continue to strengthen. It will likely peak on Saturday, then bringing us that warmest day of the short-term period. Then another disturbance quickly moves in on Sunday. It's not going to completely move far enough south to impact the entire southern Idaho. However, it will shift just enough south to maybe impact the mountains of our northern region. So that's the central mountains of Idaho right about here in the middle of the state, and then the west central mountains as well. Then that ridge of high pressure strengthens once again to start the first full work week of November before a separate low pressure system, a well-defined low pressure center, then starts to make its way towards the Pacific Northwest coast. That will bring us some impacts. This is next Wednesday in the first work week of November. So still a little bit of a ways out, but as far as we can see right now, it looks like that could be the next good system to bring us a decent amount of rain in the valleys. So if we look at our 10-day temperature trend in Boise, over the next several days, you can see that our temperatures will reflect that pattern that we just watched. So Thursday and Friday to close out October, that ridge of high pressure will bring our temperatures up slightly. Saturday, that ridge peaks. That's going to shoot our temperatures up. We're about 10 degrees above average at this point, looking at a high of 67 degrees for the first day of November. So that is a decently warm day for November. Then that quick hitting system comes in Sunday. 59 degrees will then be our high in Boise. Again, not expecting to bring us any rain. However, that will cool us down a little bit before that ridge then builds once again to start the next work week. Then we warm up to the low 60s before another system comes in the middle of the next work week. Our low temperatures in Boise will reflect that as well. We've had really cool temps these past several days in Boise to start off the work week. We had temperatures sub-freezing in many parts of the Treasure Valley. Thursday, we're looking at a low of 32 degrees in the morning, so a very cool start to the day still as we're below average there. By Friday, we're pretty close to seeing normal low temperature in the morning for Halloween. Saturday, we warm up to 40 degrees. Sunday, though, will be the warmest morning we have, coming off of the warmest afternoon on Saturday. So we won't cool down too much overnight Saturday into Sunday. 46 degrees will be our low Sunday, but then after that system comes through, Monday then we'll start off cooler for the next work week. If we look at our rain and storm chances in the mountains, they have very minimal chances for the last few days of October, even the first day of November. Sunday, when the system comes in, the mountains are the ones that have the best chance for precipitation. 45% chance there. Our snow levels will be at 9,000 feet and above, though, so most likely most areas will be seeing rain unless it's 9,000 feet or higher. Then those areas could maybe see snow if it is precipitating or raining at that point in time. So most people just going to see rain. Monday, that ridge of high pressure continues to strengthen again, bringing us calmer conditions until we look at the middle of the next week. Wednesday, we're looking at 55% chance of rain or storms in the mountains. Again, that's a little bit of a ways out at this point, so it's hard to say, but as far as we can see, it looks like it could be impactful. Treasure Valley, 20% chance of showers on Sunday. This is including the entire Treasure Valley, so not necessarily just Boise. Chances are low, but but they're not non-existent. Then Monday, they go back down to 0. Tuesday, 0 as well. Wednesday, when we're looking a little ways out again to that system coming in mid next week, those chances return somewhat. Saturday, as I mentioned, will be the warmest day in the short-term period because that is when that ridge of high pressure will top out. So we're looking at 60s for the Snake River Plain, 67 in Boise, again, 10 degrees above average or so, even the Magic Valley into the mid 60s with the mountains in the mid 50s. So this is a significantly warm start for the month of November. And looking at the entire northwest here, Oregon will see some temperatures in the mid 60s, even upper 60s for some of their major cities. Further north into Washington, they're looking at topping out in the 50s. This weekend, daylight saving time does end on November 2nd, early in the morning. That is early on Sunday. So we will fall back, clocks turn back 1 hour, so the sun will rise an hour earlier at 7:22 a.m. and the sun will also set an hour earlier at 5:33 p.m. So we will be having some darker afternoons ahead of us all the way to December 21st, which will then be the shortest day of the year. So our days will start getting shorter and shorter all the way through December 21st, or continue to get shorter, I should say. This weekend there is the Fresno State versus BSU football game, Saturday, November 1st. Kickoff is at 1:30 p.m. and it will be 59 degrees during kickoff. Again, this is the warmest day, so it will be a great day to be out on the blue watching the game. Winds will be light, 5 to 10 miles per hour, so barely even a light breeze. We should see a good amount of sunshine, maybe a little bit of clouds. Clouds have continued to move in and out this entire work week, so it will be similar setup on Saturday. By the end of the game in the afternoon, we're looking at the low to possibly mid 60s. So again, a very enjoyable Saturday ahead. Mountain 7-day forecast here, 40s to end the month of October, Thursday and Friday for those afternoon high temps. It will be pretty pleasant though still on Halloween. Lots of sunshine, maybe a little bit of clouds, but not looking at any rain on Friday for Halloween. So good conditions to be outside trick-or-treating. Then Saturday jumping up to the 50s for the high there. Sunday, when that system comes in, those rain chances come back. We're looking at isolated showers and dipping back down to the 40s for those high temperatures, kind of bouncing around that same range for the next week ahead. If we look at Twin Falls, it will be 51 for the high Thursday afternoon. Friday jumping to the mid 50s for Halloween, very pleasant. Saturday also going to be one of the warmest days for Twin Falls with a high of 64 degrees just before turning those clocks back on early Sunday. And looking at Boise here, we're looking at the upper 50s to close out the month of October. It will be sunny, so if you're planning on trick-or-treating in Harrison Boulevard or anywhere else in Boise, all of the neighborhoods should be seeing plenty of sunshine. Again, great weather for a holiday that is largely spent outside trick-or-treating. Saturday, 67 for the high. Don't forget to turn your clocks back early Sunday, maybe even Saturday night to get ahead of it. And then we start off the month of November looking at the upper 60s Saturday, then dipping down to the upper 50s on Sunday for November 2nd, starting the work week off in the 60s. Thanks so much for tuning in to this First Alert Weather Plus forecast. We'll catch you next time.